Welcome to the Invincible CEO YouTube channel. I am Dede. I am the Invincible CEO, and I'm here to help you manifest with ease because manifestation is simple, easy, and fun. Why am I doing this? Because I want to see you win. I want to see you win big. I want to see you win all the time. Most importantly, I want to see you win quickly, right? We want to ask for what we want to ask for in manifestation and get it in the quickest way possible. You can't get it wrong, but you can make it long. And this whole series is to help you shorten your manifestation time because you are the operant power. You are the first and only cause. You are the reason why the world that you're walking around exists. You are the center dot. You are the center of the universe. And the only reason why things take time, it's not because they take time in the story that you're in, because you can level up within that story and go beyond space and time. It's because there's wobble within you. And if there's wobble within you, that means you're in the thinking mind. The thinking mind does not deliver manifestation. The thinking mind is the part that makes the choice of what is it that you want. And then it takes a step back in manifestation and allows the higher self, the subconscious mind, the inner me, whatever you want to call it chicken soup. But it allows that version to populate the shortest, and believe me, your mind knows that you want it in the shortest amount of time. It knows that, and it wants to bring you that. However, it can't bring you that if you're going, where is it? I asked for it, where is it? I asked for it, where is it? Because let's face it, you wouldn't do that on an Amazon order, right? If you place an order and you know that it takes 2 days to come, then you go about your regular life and do your things, and eventually it shows up on your doorstep. Now, people say to me, well, Dede, I don't know when my manifestation is coming in. And you can train your mind to bring it within 3 days. But you can't just jump into 3-day manifestation. And maybe in the beginning you had the excitement, so you did get a 3-day manifestation. But once you bring in the conscious mind with procedures and techniques and so forth, you're actually doing the paradox of pushing it further away instead of going into the naturalness. Everything you want is in the now. The deeper you go in the now moment, the quicker your manifestations arrive. The quicker you go to neutral 0 point. That's this whole series from early on. We've been taking 3 deep breaths. We've been doing 3 minutes, right? Once you go to 0 point and you neutralize and everything is neutral, and then you choose with authority, you command with authority, and then you let it go and go about your normal day, just like you would on an Amazon order, things begin to move. But what we've suggested here is that every day you activate something new for 30 days. That way, taking away importance. But this video here today, and this is why you're going to want to stay to the end, this video today is going to give you a way right from the get-go to take away importance, to take away attachment, and become detached in your asking. Because think about what you already have. You're not asking today for the car that's already in your driveway. You're not asking today for the food that's in your kitchen. It's already there. It's already done. Why does your mind believe it? Because there was some kind of ceremony that you went through, whether you went food shopping, someone else did, whether you purchased the car, someone else did, but you know it as your car. There's always a story as to why it's accepted within yourself. And when you're doing manifestation, you just haven't accepted the story. So I'm going to give you a way today, a technique today, while we go deeper in the now in episode 27, to take away the importance, to take away the attachment, and to neutralize it out so that it takes manifestation to its basic form. Here in episode 27, I'm calling it experience. Everything you want is in the experience. Because when the experience is complete within yourself, and you gave it to yourself within yourself, right? Go within. You hear that all the time in the manifestation world. Today, we're going to go through that. We're going to go through what that experience is, because we're going to do it from the most neutral state. And from now on, all of your askings, when they're from this neutral state, it takes away that importance. It takes away the will it, won't it? Why isn't it here? Have I done it enough? I'm so frustrated. I'm stuck. They're all mind concepts. If you're in the mind, which means, and here's the quickest way that you know you're in the mind, you're thinking. Nothing you want is in thought. Once you've commanded it, there's nothing to think about other than maybe all the fun things you'll do when it arrives. That's where we can use imagination. But trying to figure out the how, and that's going to take another thing. We're going to take away the how, because you're going to want to be amazed by how your mind brings it to you. Sometimes the how will be exactly what you thought it was going to be, but maybe shorter time or better results. And sometimes allow the mind to blow you away, because that's all it wants to do. It is your servant. You've just been using it wrong. And now you can't get it wrong, but you can make it long, but we're going to stop making it long. Oh, what an introduction that was. Okay, so now also I do want to just do my announcements real quick. If you haven't liked, subscribe, and share the channel, this is a whole series. This is episode 27 out of 30, getting you deeper into the now. And each episode is standalone. However, there is a beautiful unfolding of each episode. And this is where I teach you how much I trust the now, because I knew I was going to do 30 videos in 30 days. And I gave it to the community to choose what topic we're going to be talking about. And this is the topic. Deep Dive in the Now was the one that was chosen. And this is where I trust, because I didn't write 30 episodes down ahead of time. I literally press play and boom. And in the morning when I wake up and I allow, because I just got here and I'm totally neutralized and there's no story, but I know I'm going to do a video today, and I allow it to find me. And I don't move to come in here to record until I'm moved. I can mentally get the topic, but I allow it to kind of vegetate and germinate in there until I feel this overwhelming pull now, and I get in front of the camera. So in addition, I'm going to be turning this into a do-it-yourself course. So not only will you have the 30 videos, because I'm leaving them up here on the YouTube channel, but they will have accompanying workbooks, and there will be bonus videos that I will not put on the YouTube channel, like the 6 and the 9 minute going to 0 point neutralization. In addition to Q&As and other wonderful things as this course develops. So right now I'm offering this course as a pre-sale amount of $27 prior to its launch on May 15th. It will go active May 15th. So you can pre-purchase that now for the introduction cost, because after May 15th, the cost will go up. A way you can get this new course free is we are having a 2-day event, a private event on Zoom in our nurture group, where we will have 6 sessions, and because they're on Zoom, you'll be able to interact with me, and I can take you deeper into the meditations. I can take you deeper into the 0 point. But in addition to all that, I'm going to help you have a defined jump off, a defined wish fulfilled, and a connector of what you can be doing to keep it light and airy, detached and disconnected, as you allow all of your manifestations to come in during a 12-week period. Give me 3 months and I'll change your life. So that said, look at the description box below. All the amazing links of everything that we offer are down there. We do have a free nurture group. We call it the Manifestation Playground. It's the Invincible CEO Circle. And it's a place where, and I'm actually going to go live in the circle tonight for our Q&A. We're not doing it tonight on the YouTube channel like we've been doing. We're going to move it into the private area of the nurture group so that we can really open up and discuss, because those videos will stay in the nurture group. So all the announcements are out. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get ready to dive deep into experiencing the now. Everything you want is in the experience. Everything you want is in the experience. Which means it's the asking. And let's break down what is the experience. The experience is the asking, the unfolding, and the receiving. And somehow we've kind of jumped from the asking to the receiving. But this is the unfolding. Some people call it the messy middle. Some people call it the in-between. I like to call it the unfolding because it gives it some kind of mystery. Dun, dun, dun. And your mind will always take your unfolding into the template that you have. And the less thought you have after the asking, and the more you stay in the unfolding, the joy of it could happen at any moment. And I'll play it. Is it in my drawer? Is it in my car? Like, even if it's ridiculous that it couldn't be whatever I'm asking for, it couldn't be in my car, but I keep it light and playful. And that's what the unfolding is meant to be. It's meant to be so playful. So when you have so many things activated, just like a Christmas list, you're not worried about all the stuff. And when you receive your gifts on Christmas, if you got 10 out of 20, you're thrilled that 10 out of 20 came in. Not to say that the rest can't come in. They're just not coming in on that day, but there's enough coming in quickly to keep you excited and build more momentum about your manifestations. All right, so let's get you into the experience, and let's do that by starting with our 3 deep breaths, right? From episode 4, when I took you into 0 point activation, and episode 5, which was 0 point plus assumption, we take you into the 3 minutes. So if you need the full 3 minutes, when we start doing our 3 deep breaths, you will pause the video and do your 3 minutes and then come back and join us. If 3 deep breaths is enough to zero you out because you've been doing this every day, and that's the whole idea, is the more you practice this, and I suggest every hour on the hour. So when we do it now, then an hour from now, you set your alarm and you do 3 deep breaths. And then an hour from then, you set your alarm and you do 3 deep breaths. This is what we do in my programs so that I can teach you in hour increments how to stay focused on your manifestation without the attachment and importance. Okay. So let's go into our 3 deep breaths, no crisscross applesauce, everything nice and loosey-goosey, looking straight, soft gaze. We're going to do that deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth if this is your first time here. And you want to feel the air coming in your nose. You want to get really present, like the breath, these 3 deep breaths, that's all that matters in the whole wide world. And you want to feel the difference of being present if we go back into episode 1, where I just took you through 1 deep breath. And I took you through it several times, and each time we got more and more aware. So that's why I say these videos are beautiful. They build on each other. So now we want to feel the air come through the nose. We want to feel it go down the throat. We want to feel the chest cavity expand. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then when you breathe it out, you want to feel the air releasing because you're the one in charge. It's because you said so, because you decided to breathe in deep, you decided to hold, and you decided to let it out. It shows you how you're the operant power in the now moment. But I also want you to make that ha, like you're fogging up a mirror sound as you breathe out, because we want to keep you super focused on the breath. All right, so let's go. Breathing in the first time. All right, we're nice and focused. We feel deeper calm right now as we're in this now moment. So let's talk about experience. We can talk about 3 deep breaths. You can tell me what you experienced, but the moment that you start talking about experience, you're out of it. The moment that you're thinking about an experience, you're out of it. You're in 3rd person perspective. But when you are actually doing the deep breathing, and this is a review, you're in 1st person. And now when you go into 3rd person perspective, for your mind to come in and tell you you didn't do it wrong when that part of your mind wasn't the part that does it. The part that does the breathing is the subconscious. And it shows you that you don't have to impress your subconscious, because you, the operant power, decide how deep to breathe. You don't have to practice deep breathing in order to deep breathe. You just deep breathe. Right? So that's why we're getting rid of so many manifestation myths. Your subconscious is already impressed. It just needs you to choose, so it immediately can bring to you what it is that you want to manifest. So congratulations on instant manifestation of deep breathing. And I know the mind will come in and go, oh, that's so silly. That's something I can do anyway. Well, so is manifestation. That's just the mind coming in saying that's so silly. Like that, once you start to see what's going on and you give yourself that space and awareness, because awareness is everything, the mind that's always commenting about what happened isn't the part of you that's making it happen. And that's not its job. The conscious mind's job is just to choose not to narrate whether it was a good or bad choice. Not to narrate whether it should or shouldn't happen, or it could or couldn't happen, because all things are possible. And if it wasn't possible, you couldn't make the choice. You wouldn't be able to have the awareness to make that choice. And sometimes we make a choice through words, and sometimes we just make a choice. Okay, so now let's get back into the experience, because we gave you the experience of 3 deep breaths. And now we're talking about it in 3rd person perspective. And however you did it was perfect. It was perfect for you in that now moment. You don't have to go back and do it again unless you want to do it again, but you're going to do it again for the experience, not to fix something, right? So if you wanted to take 3 deep breaths right now, it's not that you're fixing the ones that you did before because you didn't feel like you did them as long as I did on here, or that you feel like you weren't as present, right? When you go to do 3 deep breaths again, you're doing it for a new experience, not to put out the fire of an old reality that was just in your recent past. Not to breathe deep because yesterday you didn't do it right, or a month from now. That would be ridiculous, because you're just right here in the now, and we want to get you deeper in the now. So this is how, and if you don't have a pencil and paper ready, get it out now. This is how you can detach from the importance of what you're asking. Okay, so let's just do a quick review. Everything exists as possibilities in the subconscious mind. Those things that you can think about, those things that you don't even know yet to think about, they still exist. You just don't know that they do, or have an awareness to even think about them, but they do. And that's what we call the inactive invisible. You have this beautiful bubble, it's 100%. 80% of your possibilities are inactive, invisible. You have not given them any thought yet. So now, when we bring it into the 15% active invisible, we've given it some focus and attention. Usually a thought comes in and we start to play with the thought. We adopt the thought. The thoughts are not ours. You've never thought a thought in your whole entire life. You are the consciousness that thoughts bounce around in. And because it feels like you, it sounds like you think all of those thoughts are you, but they're just doorways into the reality of what the thought represents. So if you want to go for a run and a thought comes in, it's time for a run, that opens up the door that it's time for a run. It doesn't open up the reality, it's time for a slice of pizza. That's a whole different reality, and that would be a different thought. And maybe it's time for a run, but no, it's time for a slice of pizza can come into your consciousness at the same time. It's just now you're the operant power. Both of them are legitimate realities. Which one do you want to experience now? That's what this comes down to. Very, very simple. But how we're going to zero this out is we know that we are consciousness, right? When we zero ourselves out and you go deeper, 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, you realize that you are life itself, that nothing moves in your reality on the template until you begin to move, whether you mentally move in the 15% active invisible, and then there's the 5% physically manifested. It's what we call the template. It's what the mind knows to produce right here, right now. That's why if you're sitting in a room looking at this, you're not at the beach. But you could close your eyes right now and imagining you're listening to this video on the beach, and you start to give it more reality. You can hear the waves, you can hear the seagulls, you can hear little kids playing in the sand. The more reality you give your closed eye, that you could totally disappear from this reality. And we talked about that's what virtual reality headsets are. That you intellectually know you're in this room, but you put that VR headset on and your subconscious mind believes you are there. Intellectually, you know that you only have so much space that you can move around. And you even put perimeters when you do a VR headset. It asks you for perimeters, because if you are going to be moving around, you don't want to be walking into furniture or tripping over things, right? So we make sure that we have a nice clean space before we put on a VR headset. We make sure we get everything off the ground. We really set up our space, and that's what we're doing here. We're setting up the space to have the best VR headset experience. Well, we're doing this here for the best manifestation experience. And yeah, can you jump in? You can. However, if you don't know which character you're commanding from, if you are commanding from a character that is trying to put out a fire, you need money to pay your rent, you need money to go on a trip, you want a partner, but they're not there. If you're asking from the not there partner and you didn't zero yourself out, and you're wondering why your partner's not showing up, because you asked from a partner that's not there. So we zero ourselves out. We're neutral. It's not there, and it's there. And we go into that neutral point where we don't care about that old character. That old character has to die to us, where it's not there. And we're not quite yet into it's there, the partner's there. But from that neutral point, we can say 100% we zeroed out, and we were no longer in the not there character. That's what we're doing here. We're pulling you out of the character that needs and wants it into the neutral state of, I just want a different experience. I just want different. So from now on in your manifestations, when you come to a neutral point, it's like going to a buffet and there's all these choices. It's like going on Amazon and there's all these choices. You may have some type of idea of what you're looking for, but you go and you check out different things and then you make your decision. So now we're not bringing in money to pay a bill. We're not bringing in money to go on a trip. We're bringing in money because we want the experience of what it would be like to have that money come in. It's not tied to anything. When you tie your manifestation to something, I want a partner because I want to feel good, but you're not feeling good asking for the partner, your mind has already showed you that partner doesn't exist in the non-feeling good reality. And that's why we want to induce a state of being prior to asking. And the best state of being is neutral. The best state of being, it zeroes out everything. It's like, as I mentioned before, if you're an artist and you were drawing and you were doing some charcoal on a paper and you made a mistake and you keep making mistakes and you keep erasing, but now it's smudgy and it's not, it's just so much easier to throw that piece of paper away and start fresh. So going to neutral and choosing an experience just because you want to have the experience. No other story is needed now. So if you want $5,000 to show up today, in the now moment, $5,000 showing up is the story. But if your mind needs to know, how will that come in? It's doing a job that it wasn't designed to do. All its job is to choose the 5,000. So we've just done that, right? We've chosen 5,000, not to pay a bill, not to have 5,000 in the account, not to go on a trip, not to go food shopping, whatever the stories are. When you go to neutral point, those 3 deep breaths, you're releasing all stories. You don't even have a name at that point because you are a thing doing things with things, right? When we take everything down, if I say right now, Dede is holding her phone, but let me show you how this is neutral. I'm a thing doing a thing with a thing. That's it. I'm a thing, Dede, holding a phone. That's it. I'm a thing doing a thing with a thing. Thing 1, thing 2, from right. Dr. Seuss was trying to tell us that. We're letting go all importance. And it's not that it's my phone, right? Because then when we start to put the me, my, mine in there, everything gets importance. And we're now differentiating and we're conditioning reality. So if I say, I want $5,000 to come in because I have bills to pay, we've just conditioned reality and you've locked yourself into the reality that you have bills to pay and you don't have the money. You have to understand what is being said, what is implied by asking from that level. So if you have bills to pay and they're overdue, but you know yourself as the operant power that you always have enough money and your bills are paid ahead of time, you're playing in the wrong playground. So it's not even about getting the money. It's about coming out of, listen to your words, go back into yesterday's rampaging. Whatever you're speaking out, when people come to me and we do a session and they're like, I don't have enough money, I have bills, my bills are overdue. Well, is that who you know yourself to be? Who are you? Are you, if you had a choice to imagine anything, is that what you're imagining? Are you safe in your own imagination? Or would your story sound like, I have so much money and my bills are paid ahead of time? And they're like, yeah, that one. Well, why aren't you choosing it? Because if you're choosing to get money in to go into a reality where bills aren't paid, that reality is already showing you that's all it can deliver is unpaid bills, not on time, and you feel a certain a state of being within you, because that state of being gives you the story. So coming out of that story, going to neutral, 3 deep breaths. If that's not enough, go in 3 minutes. If that's not enough, go in 6 minutes, 9 minutes, to when you can come out and say, I'm neutral. And then you choose whatever amount you choose, but I'm going to use $5,000 because we use that often here for consistency. See, there's a story. But let's say you choose $5,000. Now, from this neutral state, the only reason why you want $5,000 to show up is for $5,000 to show up. That's it. Then once it shows up, then you can choose what to do with it. Then you can choose, because it's unconditioned, other than it arriving, because it would have to arrive in the conditioned reality, right? And so it's sort of like when you're driving your car and you have your GPS on, you can only make the next turn. You can worry about 3 turns from now, but you're not there. So if you just focus on the next step, I want 5,000 to come in because I want 5,000 to show up. And if you have a jump off wheel, you can have ideas of how you've seen it show up in the past and how you, on a wish fulfilled wheel, new ways, and you can be really, really creative. We've done that in previous videos. We're not going to do that again here. But when you start getting excited about its arrival, oh, I wonder if I'll find it in a drawer. Oh, I wonder if I'll take a walk down the park and I'll find $5,000 in a bag. Oh, I wonder if a rainbow unicorn farting glitter will, walking down the street with a bag in its mouth, will come up to me and drop it at my feet, right? Delusional, logical. You can have so many what ifs. That's why the what if technique is great, but only if it's from a neutral state, not if it's from a state of, I need this money. I need this money. I got to pay bills. I'm going to get kicked out. I'm going to lose my car. All the stories, but yet none of it's happening right now. If you look around, it's nothing but calm. So here you are in this beautiful calm template where all that's happening is happening. Birds may be chirping, a car might be driving by, you might be hearing noise from another room. That's all that's happening. And no time exists prior to now. So here's my now. It's totally unconditioned. I can choose anything because I'm safe in my imagination. I can close my eyes and give it to myself within myself because everything is imagined and real here, where it's either imaginally real or really imagined. We don't differentiate. Whether it's open eye or closed eye, it's all the same. But one thing that I do is I always go in within myself and give it to myself. I give it to myself inside until I feel satisfaction and completion, like it actually happened out here. That's how you know you've gone in and done it enough, but you have to do it from a neutral state, because if you haven't zeroed yourself out to 0 point, you're asking from the wrong reality. And that reality will never, the version of you that doesn't pay her bills or his bills on time never pays his bills on time, her bills on time. That's one state of being. The version of you that always pays their bills on time always pays their bills on time. The version of you that pays them ahead of time always pays them ahead of time. And you as the consciousness get to choose, so that when you choose $5,000 and it's not showing up, if you gave it to yourself within yourself, that's the email, right? When you feel the activation, feeling is the secret, means that I feel complete in the transaction within me, like I would if I were doing it on Amazon, because we don't have that external validation. So you have to get the internal validation from your subconscious mind, and it's always in a sensation. That's what the feel is. It's not emotion. We want to stay neutral. That's where, when we talk about when the old reality, if it still keeps showing up, we stay neutral. A reaction's a reaction. You can't help a reaction, but a reaction's seconds. What ends up happening after the reactions is a deep spiral into a reality we don't want through emotion. Why is this happening? This never happens for me. Why does everybody else get it? And it's usually any kind of negative emotion. If you're a negative emotion, here's a really quick thing that you can do. Start deep breathing, because you can't deep breathe and think at the same time, and see how quickly, without thought, negative emotion within your body, the negative, what you would call a negative feel, anxiety, whatever you would call it, disappears. Any kind of negative feel needs a negative story to be activated within your body. It's really, really powerful. So now let's review. If you're asking to put out a fire, then you're in a reality that does not give you the outcome, because if it did, it would already be here. So that's why we call the jump off. We love the jump off because it shows us that we are no longer choosing that reality. Maybe we were in that reality and we didn't know we were choosing it, because you're always choosing it, but it's usually by default. But now you're changing the script. Now you're making a different choice. And you go within and you neutralize yourself out first. How you do it? With your breath. Your breath is so powerful for the now moment. And then once you know that you're neutral, you choose again for the experience of the thing. It's a thing, you're just wanting to experience the thing. All you want to do is experience the money showing up. You have no attachment to what you're going to do with it when it does. That's why when we think of something and it shows up and we're like, how did that show up so quick? But this other thing that I really want isn't. because you condition the reality you've asked from the wrong point. When we ask for a purple elephant with pink polka dots and it shows up within a few hours, because we don't have any story attached to it. We don't have any story. So in the neutralization, you're letting go of the story. You have a story. It brings you to a point of awareness. You no longer want that script. You're going to neutralize yourself out. You're going to make another choice, but you're making the choice not to put out a fire, not to get something. You're making the choice to have the experience of the unfolding of it showing up in your reality. And then when it shows up, then you can decide what you're going to do with that 5,000. Because I promise you that when that 5,000 shows up and you realize what happened and how quickly it did, you may not be paying off those bills. You may be going on that trip, because if you did it once, you can do it again. You can have 5,000. And now you have a little bit of excitement and momentum that this shit really does work, because it does. Its manifestation is simple, easy, and fun. But not if you're in the thinking mind. Nothing you want is in the thinking mind after you make a choice, but you make the choice from neutral. So if you make the choice, oh, I need $5,000, I got to pay my bills. Okay, you are where you are. That's your jump off. We go into the deep breath. We go into the neutralization for 3 breaths, for 3 minutes, for 6 minutes, for 9 minutes. So that when you come out of it, you are relaxed and calm. And then you choose, right? And this is what we did in episode 5, 0 point plus assumption. Then you choose, I would like $5,000 for me. But the implication is that you're choosing $5,000 for you, that you will decide what you'll do with it once it arrives. And whatever is your greatest passion and heart, that's what you'll do with it. This is powerful, folks, that you're in a reality that's unwanted. You cannot ask for that reality and expect it to arrive, because that reality has already showed you what it will deliver over and over and over for you. This is powerful. You go to neutral. You ask again just for the experience of its arrival. And then you can decide what to do with it from there, because that's all we're ever doing anyway. You may say, I want it for this, but you can't mock your own mind. Your mind knows you. It knows what state you're in, right? If I'm in the state of Pennsylvania and I want to go to Florida, I can't start from Virginia. I can't start from Virginia. I have to take myself to Virginia and then to Florida. And I have to accept I am where I am. But I know that the moment that I get in the car and start driving, even though I'm still in Pennsylvania, I'm not at my jump off point. There's movement. And that's what we do in the middle. That's what we're going to do in our 2-day event, is we're going to give ourselves the movement that we need so that we can have the conscious mind play along and say, we're no longer in the jump off. There's movement forward. Right now, I am in my shredding stage in bodybuilding. And since I put this jacket on for 27 sessions straight for the consistency, when I went to zip it up today, I felt a difference. I felt a difference, not better or worse, not good or bad, not right or wrong. It felt different. So different is the state that you want. You're choosing because you want a different experience. And once that shows up, you will choose then again for the next step. All you need is the next step. And it's so important. I will review it one more time. In awareness, you come to realize you're in a script that is no longer of your choice. Whether you chose it before or you unconsciously chose it, doesn't matter. You no longer want that. You want something different. You want a different experience. And then you realize that if you choose from where you are, that reality can only give you more of that. And that's why it appears that it's going in the opposite direction, because you've given energy to a reality that you don't want that delivers it not being there. So that's why it goes in that opposite direction too. You're giving that reality more energy than your new choice. So then you decide, I'm going to come back into neutral. I'm going to neutral myself out, however long it takes. It could be 3 deep breaths. It could be 3 minutes. Maybe it's 12, who knows? But you'll start to know. The more that you do this within yourself, you'll start to know. And your time will get shorter and shorter. And then from that neutral state, you choose something not to put out the fire of an old reality. You choose something for the experience of the unfolding. And then once it's here, you will then decide what to do with it. That takes away importance. That takes away old story, because in the now moment, what's happening is the story. When that 5,000 arrives, it arrives. Will it have a story attached to it? Yes. Can it match something of how you think it could come in? Yes. Can it match something where you would have never thought in a million years? And I can tell you how many times my clients have said that. I can't believe that this actually happened this way. Because your mind wants to show off for you. It wants to perform for you. It wants to blow you away. It wants you to be excited about manifestation. Oh, guys, I gave you everything I got here. Because when you manifest for the choice and the unfolding of that choice, and that's the story, and you won't miss it, I promise you. And then when you each day you activate something new for that same exact reason, you want to experience something different, not to put out a fire. You start to leave those old realities with all that fear, doubt, anxiety, frustration, and you move into a new paradigm where you're manifesting to experience the choice unfolding. And how do you know it's unfolding? The moment that I come out of making the choice, everything in my template is for the unfolding. And I will do a little video later on today to show you how 3D conditions don't matter, because I've been using this YouTube channel and its advancement. So I'm going to break it down for you in a small video that I will put later, or possibly tomorrow, on the channel for that. But again, it is May 1st. And if you'd like to join us in our live Q&A session, and you can ask questions about this video, you can ask questions about anything manifestation, you want to join our free nurture group. It's also in the description box below. In addition to the new course that's coming out, in addition to the 2-day event, when I say to you that manifestation is simple, easy, and fun, and when you build yourself a roadmap, when you give yourself your own way of doing things from neutral point, it doesn't matter what technique you use. You are the technique. You are always the story. So techniques are a fun way to watch it unfold. But if techniques are the be-all, end-all, and you're asking from the wrong state of being, then you're going to go in the opposite direction, and you're going to make this a lot longer than it has to be. All right, guys, I gave it to you today. This is powerful, this session. I've been wanting to do this session probably for 10 sessions now, but the way the unfolding, we built beautiful foundation leading up to this. And that's where I trust the process. Thank you guys so much for coming here. Like, subscribe, share. Put your comments below. I know that a lot of aha moments went off. A lot of bells went off. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you're loving this series, this is episode 27. We still have 3 more to go. Come back tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, I will put the beautiful playlist so that you can catch up. And I'm so excited to bring you this new do-it-yourself course with all of the extra worksheets and the extra videos that won't be included here on the YouTube channel. All right, guys, until I see you again, happy manifesting and enjoy.